All right, you guys want to watch some alien shit or something? Let's watch something fun. Did we watch this ancient Egyptians in the Grand Canyon by Y-Files yet? I forget if we've seen that. Well, let's take a look for a minute and see if it feels familiar.
In 1908,
Yeah, aliens. Yeah.
President Teddy Roosevelt
Dude, I'm on an alien trip today. I feel like... Yeah, I don't think so, right? Let's watch it.
wanted to declare
If it strikes us as we've seen it or whatever, we'll fucking find another one.
the Grand Canyon off limits to all timber and mining operations.
Dude, what if we Naruto ran the Grand Canyon and we all just showed up and we were like, yo, where the fuck is the where are the Egyptian pyramids? Huh? And you know why they can't let us know this, right? Is because then maybe this land doesn't just belong to white people. If Egyptians, they're from where? There's evidence of Egyptians being in America? Yeah, 6-hour checkpoint. Let's go.
It would take another 11
I'm feeling good too. This is when we normally start kicking off. Now my my circadian rhythm's just kicking in, but it's also being fucked because, you know, the sun is not there anymore. It's missing. When are they going to do it? When are they going to turn the sun off?
years for Congress to designate the Grand Canyon a national park. Sensing a final opportunity for adventure, explorer G.E. Kincaid took a boat down the Colorado River and through the Grand Canyon. The canyon was rich in minerals like gold, silver, and copper, and Kincaid wanted to see what he could find before the area was closed off for good. About 40 miles upriver from the El Tovar Crystal Canyon, Kincaid saw stains in the sediment formation about 2,000 feet up. He tied off the boat and got out to investigate. Kincaid couldn't find a trail, but after a short hike, he found something interesting covered in desert brush. Steps, hundreds of them, carved in sandstone, steps that wound their way up to a high shelf on the side of the canyon.
Shut the fuck up.
He followed the steps until he came across a cavern entrance, an entrance that was clearly man-made. Kincaid entered the cavern and turned on his flashlight. On the walls, he saw writing, but it wasn't English or Native American writing. It was ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics. Kincaid lifted his flashlight and saw that the tunnel ran far into the distance. He didn't realize it at the time, but this was only the beginning. When G.E. Kincaid tied off his small wooden boat to investigate the strange coloration of the rock wall, he was hoping to find clues that would lead him to a mineral deposit. He wasn't expecting to find hieroglyphics. When Kincaid noticed chisel marks in the walls, he drew his pistol, turned on another light, and slowly walked deeper into the gloom. He kept detailed notes of everything he saw.
The main passage.
Yeah, the Grand Canyon, I've only been there once, but it is magnificent, dude. It is so much. You can't really understand it until you see it. It's crazy, bro. It's so cool.
Weighs about 12 feet wide. Now we're into 9 feet toward the farther end. About 57 feet from the entrance, the first side passages branch off to the right and left, along which on both sides are a number of rooms about the size of ordinary living rooms of today, though some are 30 by 40 feet square. These are entered by oval-shaped doors and are ventilated by round air spaces through the walls into the passages. The walls are about 3 feet 6 inches in thickness. The passages are chiseled or hewn as straight as could be laid out by an engineer. The ceilings of many of the rooms converge to a center. The side passages near the entrance run at a sharp angle from the main hall, but toward the rear they gradually reach a right angle in direction.
G.E. Kincaid now realized he was in a huge complex. He estimated that as many as 50,000 people could have lived here. In some rooms he found granaries with shelves of glazed pottery, many of which still contained seeds. He found cooking areas and a huge dining hall. The rooms were full of ancient artifacts. Kincaid carefully wrapped a few small metal and ceramic objects for later study. Another large room Kincaid described as an area for metalwork, a technology that should not have existed in this area.
Here are found tools of all descriptions made of copper. These people undoubtedly knew the lost art of hardening this metal, which has been sought by chemicals for centuries without result. On a bench running around the workroom was some charcoal and other material probably used in the process. There's also slag and stuff similar to mat, showing that these ancients smelted ores, but so far no trace of where or how
Dude, this is so cool.
this was done has been discovered, nor the origin of the ore.
G.E. Kincaid explored the underground complex for several hours, still having no idea when this place was used, what it was used for, or who the builders were. Then he came across another large room, a crypt. The crypt had shelf upon shelf and row upon row of mummies, dozens of them. At this point, G.E. Kincaid realized that if he was going to explore this entire underground city, he was going to need help.
Nope, this is how you get killed.
G.E. Kincaid sent a few artifacts to the Smithsonian along with his notes of what he found.
No, god damn it.
He requested financial and logistical support for what he felt was the most significant archaeological discovery ever made. The Smithsonian agreed. A few weeks later, Professor S.A. Jordan arrived with a team of about 40 scientists, researchers, and laborers to excavate and explore the ancient underground city. Now with more lights and manpower, the scientists realized that the cave system layout wasn't random. It was a symmetrical, deliberate design. The tunnels all led to a central chamber. In the chamber was a large statue of what Kincaid thought looked like Buddha.
Like butter.
Buddha.
What'd I say?
Over 100 feet
Thoth?
from the entrance is the cross hall, several hundred feet long, in which are found the idol or image of the people's god, sitting cross-legged with a lotus flower or lily in each hand. The cast of this face is oriental, and the carving in this cavern. The idol almost resembles Buddha, though the scientists are not certain as to what religious worship it represents. Taking into consideration everything found thus far, it is possible that this worship most resembles the ancient people of Tibet.
No, I didn't think we were allowed to say Oriental. Are we bringing that back?
We're not. This was written over 100 years ago. So.
Oh, right, when we had freedom of speech.
No, Oriental in this context just means Eastern.
Ah.
Because of this discovery, Kincaid's team started calling the complex the Citadel. The crypt was one of the bigger rooms discovered. Now, with enough light, Kincaid was able to fully describe what he saw.
The walls slant back at an angle of about 35 degrees. On these are tiers of mummies, each one occupying a separate hewn shelf. At the head of each is a small bench, on which is found copper cups and pieces of broken swords. Some of the mummies are covered with clay, and all are wrapped in a bark fabric. The urns or cups on the lower tiers are crude, while as the higher shelves are reached, the urns are finer in design, showing a later stage of civilization. It is worthy of note that all the mummies examined so far have proved to be male, no children or females being buried here. This leads to the belief that this exterior section was the warriors' barracks.
Kincaid, Jordan, and the Smithsonian team explored the entire cave complex. They were overwhelmed with evidence that this was not some faraway temple occupied by a few priests. This was a huge city, lived in by thousands of men, women, and children for hundreds or possibly thousands of years. The question nobody could answer was, who were they? By the end of the expedition, G.E. Kincaid and Professor
They didn't mine it, they levitated it out of the ground.
Jordan's team had discovered hundreds of rooms, barracks, granaries, metalworking shops,
And you don't get to see this ever. You don't get to hear about it. Shut up.
temples, and many, many living quarters. Though most of the rooms were empty, thousands of artifacts were found. They found swords and shields made of copper, bronze,
Dude, so cool.
and a gray metal that scientists couldn't identify. They thought it looked like platinum. They found pottery, urns, utensils for cooking, small yellow stones called cat's eyes, and large stone tablets, all engraved with hieroglyphics.
On all the urns or walls over doorways and tablets of stone which were found by the image are the mysterious hieroglyphics, the key to which the Smithsonian Institute hopes yet to discover. The engraving on the tablets probably has something to do with the religion of the people. Similar hieroglyphics have been found in southern Arizona. Among the pictorial writings, only 2 animals are found. One is of prehistoric type.
Even with all the relics and all the writing Kincaid and Jordan found, they were still no closer to determining who built the citadel in the Grand Canyon. They thought some of the statues looked Tibetan, but they weren't quite right. They thought the writing looked Egyptian. Again, that wasn't quite right. There were experts on site, none of whom could identify the statues or translate any of the text. But there were 2 things that the researchers could agree on. One, the civilization that built the citadel was very advanced, far more advanced than the native tribes that occupied the area for a few thousand years.
Yeah, maybe Sectamos came from there?
This now lost civilization
EBE?
worked bronze many years before the Bronze Age began. They understood division of labor and agriculture when every other society on Earth was presumably still hunting and gathering. These are discoveries that went against everything that was taught in mainstream archaeology and anthropology. A civilization like this shouldn't exist.
Oh, what was the second thing?
What?
Well, you said the eggheads agreed on 2 things. What was the second thing?
Right. They agreed that the civilization that built the citadel in the Grand Canyon
Decoy dummy civilization.
didn't emerge there locally. This civilization arrived there from the other side of the world. Kincaid and Professor Jordan sent boxes of artifacts and books full of notes and drawings back to the Smithsonian, along with their hypothesis that an ancient civilization existed in the Grand Canyon thousands of years before Native Americans arrived in North America. These people were technologically advanced, educated, skilled, and spiritually complex. And these people originated somehow in Egypt or Asia. Kincaid wanted more resources and a larger team to help them research the citadel and search the Grand Canyon for more evidence of this lost civilization. Their request was denied, and G.E. Kincaid and Professor S.A. Jordan were never heard from again.
Son of a...
In northern Arizona is one of the most spectacular natural wonders on Earth, the Grand Canyon. Carved over millions of years by the Colorado River, the Grand Canyon is more than just a pretty landscape and a spot for tourists to take selfies. It's a place of deep spiritual significance for the people who've lived in the area. The Hopi, Navajo, Zuni, Apache, and several other tribes have lived around the Grand Canyon for several thousand years. They still do. Hopi mythology says that from the Grand Canyon, the first people of the world entered. The story says that many thousands of years ago, a reptilian race emerged.
Lizard people!
Yep.
Hey, how many times do lizard people have to come up in these stories before you believe in him?
Yeah, the Hopi and the fucking Tibetans, like, they all, don't they both say that, like, people began in each of their places?
I guess I'm gonna...
And the Hopi is where we get the cool-ass red sun thing that is probably happening right now that James Webb is fucking up.
Need a few more.
Lizard people are gonna keep popping up, you'll see.
Thousands of years ago, a reptilian race,
Lizard people.
lizard people, emerged from the Grand Canyon and changed into humans.
Lizard people are shapeshifters.
That would seem to be true. Other Pueblo cultures like the Zuni and the Acoma have similar legends that there were people there before the tribes.
Lizard people legends?
Well, some legends say reptilians were there. Other legends say a race of giants were there.
Ooh.
And there are rumors that skeletons of giants have been discovered all
Nephilim!
over the western United States, but the evidence has been suppressed.
Suppressed by who?
The Smithsonian.
Of course.
Something I've learned from doing the show is that all myths and legends do carry a little bit of truth. We already have evidence that people landed in North America before Columbus. The Vikings famously explored and settled parts of Newfoundland 500 years before the quote-unquote New World was quote-unquote discovered. And there's growing evidence that ancient Chinese explorers landed in North and South America before the Vikings. But landing on the east or west coast of America is one thing. Getting to the Grand Canyon is a whole other thing. How could people get there? And even if they could, how did they have the technology to excavate millions of tons of rock in order to build an entire underground city? Well, we may have known the answer to that question for 1,000 years. Traveling from Europe and Asia to America thousands of years ago was almost impossible. Almost. Many brave people.
Dude, I can't wait for Nibiru. Dude, if I see Nibiru, I mean, I'm already like 100 in on this shit. Like, I feel like there's something in meditation, right? Like, there's something in yoga. There's something in living like, you know, what's it called? Presently or whatever. So, but the second I see Nibiru, I'm going to be like, it's on. So I could totally see them hiding it because they don't want us to see it. But like, would it always be directly behind the sun? Like it would have to be so close to the sun, right? Like, because if they're hiding it, or maybe they're, yeah, maybe the sun's like going through, maybe the sun is turning red, you know?
Did it. But traveling to the Grand Canyon is a much more difficult task than landing on a California beach. To get to and build in the Grand Canyon requires technology. The Hopi have a very intriguing legend about the ant people. These are humanoid creatures that are smaller than humans with pale skin and large eyes like an insect.
Aliens.
According
The Greys!
to legend, a series of cataclysms hit the earth many thousands of years ago.
Younger Dryas.
The Hopi were on the verge of being destroyed. A sky god emerged from what they called a moving star.
UFO.
The sky god brought the Hopi to the ant people, who escorted them to underground caves for protection. The sky god then got back into his moving star and flew off above the clouds. The Paiute have a legend about the Havmusuvs. They're usually described as being humanoid in shape with golden skin and large eyes.
Aliens.
They lived in a vast underground city and traded with faraway people. They possessed weapons that the Paiute described as silver tubes that shot lightning and can kill a man instantly.
Phases.
And the most interesting part of the Havmusuv legend, they supposedly flew silver canoes in the sky.
UFOs.
These craft made a humming sound and could maneuver like an eagle and move at great speeds. Most ancient cultures have a flood myth. They describe a global disaster that melted the ice caps and caused sea level to rise 400 feet. Entire cities were wiped out, maybe even entire continents.
Atlantis.
Most of these flood myths also talk about how, after the waters receded, a godlike people came down from the sky. These gods gave humans the gift of civilization and taught them things they had forgotten before the Great Flood. Things like writing, astronomy, and agriculture. Could the city in the Grand Canyon be evidence of this time in history? And if it is, why would anyone want to suppress it? All the information in today's episode comes from 2 front-page articles from the Phoenix Gazette published in 1909. In the years since, mainstream researchers have decided that the articles were a hoax, a fantastic story designed to sell newspapers.
19th century clickbait?
Yep.
The media hasn't changed much.
Unfortunately, that's true. But many people believe the story is real, and the Smithsonian is covering it up.
Smithsonian Public Relations, Marion speaking.
It's the Smithsonian that dumped all of the fucking, like, the like dinosaur bones and shit in the fucking Hudson River, right?
Hold on. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
I'm here. Sorry, I was on hold a long time.
How can I help you?
They transferred me to Marion.
Yes, this is Marion.
Okay, great. My name is AJ, and I'm with the Y-Files. We're a YouTube channel that covers mysteries.
Did you say you're from YouTube?
The Y-Files is a channel on YouTube, yes.
Okay.
Okay, I wanted to talk to you about an article that was in the Phoenix, Arizona Gazette in 1909, and they sent me to you. I was hoping to ask you a couple of questions about that.
Okay, let me stop you. No Egyptian artifacts of any kind have ever been found in North or South America.
Sounds like you've given that speech before.
Yes, I get this call a couple of times a year. I can tell you that the Smithsonian has never been involved in anything like this in the Grand Canyon or anywhere.
So, G.E. Kincaid?
There's no record of anyone by that name ever working for the Smithsonian. The whole thing is a hoax.
Yeah, that's the prevailing belief, but the Smithsonian has been accused of covering this up, so...
Yeah, I don't have a response to that.
You probably don't want to talk about giants or giant skeletons, huh?
Goodbye.
That's the official story. Kincaid's cave is a hoax, so no
Smithsonian Nazis.
reason to try and find it. Nothing to see here. Even Kincaid himself wanted to keep people out.
First, I would impress that the cavern is nearly inaccessible. The entrance is 1,486 feet down the sheer canyon wall. It is located on government land, and no visitor will be allowed there under penalty of trespass. The scientists wish to work unmolested, without fear of archaeological discoveries being disturbed by curio or relic hunters. A trip there would be fruitless, and the visitor would be sent on his way.
Whether at the request of the Smithsonian or just to protect his find, it was clear that Kincaid wanted to dissuade people from finding the citadel. But even over 100 years later, that wouldn't stop people from trying. And some of those people, they say they found it.
Oh, let's go!
Jerry Wills and his wife Kathy have been studying the Kincaid Cave mystery for years. Their approach was find the original base camp of the explorers, which would lead them to the cave. After years of research and exploring the area where G.E. Kincaid said he found the cave, Jerry and Kathy found a location covered in artifacts from that time. And on the canyon wall just below this area, they believe is the entrance to the underground city. Exploring is difficult though. The entire area where the cave is supposed to be is designated off-limits by the federal government.
I saw that coming.
About 1,000 caves have been discovered in the Grand Canyon, many of them man-made, but only about 30 have been mapped, and many of those have been sealed.
Ooh, I close them off.
Oh, for your safety.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah, I don't buy the safety excuse either. There are plenty of people who'd be willing to take the risk, and they'd be willing to sign a waiver that says the government isn't responsible if something happens. In fact, people have tried this. The government still says no, it's too dangerous.
How nice of the government to look out for us.
Isn't that nice? Then why is it legal to jump out of a plane or ride a roller coaster or drive a car? Some things in life are dangerous, but they're still worth doing. Some other caves in the Grand Canyon have been blocked by steel gates. They say this is to protect the bat population.
Whoa. Did you say bats? We have to protect the bats?
That's what they say.
Well, haven't bats caused enough problems these last few years? Allegedly.
Still, people are willing to risk a fine or imprisonment to find the lost city in the Grand Canyon. But anyone who goes looking should expect a response. When Jerry and Kathy's team tried to explore the area, suddenly an unmarked plane appeared. Clearly, they were being watched. Despite this part of the Grand Canyon being a no-fly zone, and the fact that no aircraft is allowed to fly below the rim, a plane appeared. Jerry Wills is convinced this was a warning. His team was unable to continue their expedition. Exploring the cave from above is almost impossible. But what about exploring it from below, as G.E. Kincaid did? Another group of explorers tried this. As they approached the location, a black helicopter showed up. Not a tourist helicopter, not even a black civilian helicopter, an Apache combat helicopter. When this team explored the area above, looking for the ventilation shafts Kincaid wrote about, and possibly a way down, they found cement blocks in the middle of nowhere. Some of these blocks are platforms near the edge of the rim with hardware and anchors that would be used to assist mountaineers. When asked about this, the authorities say these are reinforcing structures to prevent rockfalls. Also in this forbidden zone, rock formations have unusual names. There's Isis Temple, Tower of Set, Horus, the Cheops
Fuck up.
Pyramid, and Ra. There's also the Manu Temple, the Buddha Temple, the Krishna Temple, and the Shiva Temple, and many more names that refer to ancient Egyptian and Hindu cultures that specifically have myths about a god helping civilization after the Great Flood. The official word is, the fact that these names exist within the Grand Canyon's no-go zone is a coincidence. But I don't really believe in those. Do you? David Hatcher Childress is a French author who's published 200 books. He often covers ancient mysteries. He believes the United States government is actively suppressing archaeological discoveries. He mentions that while the film Raiders of the Lost Ark is fiction, the final scene showing the warehouse is close to reality. That the Smithsonian, an independent federal agency, is hiding some of the most important discoveries made in the Americas. He says the cover-up began in 1881 with famous geologist John Wesley Powell. Powell appointed Cyrus Thomas the director of the Eastern Mound Division of the Smithsonian Institution's Bureau of Ethnology. When Thomas came to the Smithsonian, he believed there was a race of mound builders that were distinct from and arrived before the American Indians. This school of thought is called diffusionism, which says throughout history, there's been a widespread dispersion of culture and civilization, even across great distances. The Smithsonian took the opposite approach. It promoted isolationism, which says most civilizations are isolated from each other and have little contact, especially when separated by large bodies of water. It was held that the advanced and highly populated civilizations of the Ohio and Mississippi valleys were rare, and that they didn't have contact
Oh yeah, remote view the Smithsonian warehouses.
with other advanced cultures like the Aztecs, the Toltecs, or the Maya. But the Mississippi River runs from Canada all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. To say these cultures were isolated is like saying that people in the Black Sea had no contact with people in the Mediterranean. That's ridiculous. When ancient mounds of the American Midwest are examined, they show the existence of a complex culture. Cities larger than those in Europe at the time. They also show burials of extremely tall people, sometimes 7 or 8 feet tall. When the Spiro mounds were excavated in the 1930s, 7 and 8 foot tall skeletons were found, at a time when the average height of a human male was about 5'6". Those skeletons have been lost. In 1892, stone coffins were discovered in Alabama by Frank Burns during a geological survey. The coffins were about 7.5 feet long, hollowed out by fire and metal chisels. The findings were sent to the Smithsonian. In 1984, this report was found by researcher Frederick J. Pohl. He asked the Smithsonian about this. They said, "We have not been able to find the specimens in our collections, though records show that they were received."
Well, how do you lose giant stone coffins?
That weighed several tons? I don't know.
And never underestimate the incompetence of the federal government.
8 years later, the Smithsonian said they found the coffins, but they were stored in a warehouse that was contaminated by asbestos, so nobody could go in there to see them. During World War II, a crew was building an airship in Alaska. They excavated a mound that had gigantic human remains, skeletons twice or 3 times the size of a normal human. This report has been confirmed by multiple sources. The Smithsonian collected the findings, and that was the last anyone heard about it. There are stories like this from Alaska.
Yo, everyone, stop calling the fucking Smithsonian. What is wrong with you?
All the way down to Mexico City. An amazing discovery is
They ground them all up for boner pills.
made. The Smithsonian steps in, the story disappears. The saying, "skeletons in your closet," means you have secrets you don't want revealed. Secrets that, if discovered, would be embarrassing and possibly dangerous. In the case of the Smithsonian, skeletons in the closet could be taken literally. But the government literally has evidence that an advanced race was in North America long before the native tribes arrived. Evidence they don't want revealed. Mainstream science says this is nonsense. But the Hopi and other Grand Canyon tribes do believe this. The Hopi say that when the first people emerged from the Grand Canyon, they sent a message to the Temple of the Sun asking for a blessing of peace. That messenger hasn't returned. But even today in Hopi villages, at sundown, tribal elders can be seen on rooftops, gazing toward the setting sun, waiting for the messenger to come home. And when he does, the ancient land will be returned to the first people.
Cool. Dude, yes. Get rid of these fucking, the white devil, bro. Please, get me out of here.
Now that's an optimistic belief. The United States spent 200 years taking land from the first people. You really think they're going to give it back? Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. My name is AJ. That's Hecklefish. This has been the Y-Files. If you had fun or learned anything, do us a favor and like, subscribe, comment, and share, and that stuff.
Is that what the Hopi legend is? That the messenger...
Well, you are now standing on the Hopi land, and I can only tell you what I learned from my elders
Yes,
who
please.
met in Shamopa.
And after this, we'll do our meditation, okay? I want to hear what this fucking messenger story is, bro. Bro, what if fucking... Let's do it! Turtle Island, go! Because I bet that it's just gonna, you know... Like, they're not gonna get rid of all the white devil. You just gotta be, you just gotta have a clear spirit, you know? They're gonna get rid of all the fucking demon people with these demonic energies inside of them, you know? That we're gonna read their auras and be like, son, son, son. That's a Nazi cloner, son. Nazi cloner, son, 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 son. moon, launched to the moon.
In Mesa in 1948 and told many things.
You've watched all of this elders videos. I'm assuming this is great, right? This feels like it's about to be great. This is Sacred Land Film Project. You're gonna go see Monument Valley this weekend now? Nice, dude.
That I felt what they say are very important, not only for Hopi, not only Native people in this land, Western Hemisphere, but all our nations that they knew would be coming here from around the...
Bro, what if we are alive for when this fucking prophecy happens?
outside of the world. And they talk about many things, and I felt that the message was so important that I did, voluntarily to carry this message.
That's cool.
This area, the Hopi were led into by ancient people. They have 4 sacred mountains in this Four Corners area, surrounded by shrines built on a long time ago. And this is just a spiritual center or heart of the Mother Earth. So they said we must leave this in natural state, because if we rip up this earth from all around the world, people for money and job and good time and just rip it up. But if we leave up in this Four Corners area in natural state that the Great Spirit made, just leave it that way and hold it by prayer, fast, ritual, ceremony every month to keep this land life in balance for not only here but around the world. And we went on 4 directions to hold it in balance through a ceremony. That's why they take different societies to give that they sing, pray, fast, meditate, and that's how we keep this nature in balance. And that's what the Hopi is trying to hold on to now, and other Native people, to perform the ceremony so that this world will continue on. You can have all inventions, but you can't stop rain when they're really coming down, or earthquake, or tornadoes, hurricane. When it comes, that invention of white man can't stop it. It got to come from the heart of a spiritual people who knows what to sing and how to perform a ceremony and other things, and that would keep this in balance.
Why did they leave writings on the cliffs?
Well, why do the white man give things up in the moon? They said, I'm first here. The same thing, I'm first here.
Yeah.
If I ask a white man, are you here first? The second time they was here first. Do you know, can you explain that? Is that your symbol?
Yeah, no, it says right here. They were here first.
See, we were here long time ago before any white people came. I am only here to bring my message from the elders to spring people and other people and living things on this earth who are here. And I know that our spirit people are here, the plant, water, and all the birds, animal things that were here. And I'm sure that there are other sacred sites here which our ancestors left long time ago. And I'm glad to see this water is still here, and I hope it will continue to give water to every living things on this earth. And I'm glad I made it up here. It's kind of hard to get out there, but I made it.
Oh, yeah.
These things are protected by Hopi a long time ago. So that's why I felt I need to bring this message. So it's the Second World War. The Native people were not supposed to go in the army, Hopi and Native people. The government knows that, but they forced a lot of our people to go in the army and send them off to foreign country and destroy their life. We're not supposed to do that. We're not to throw a bomb over there. And so Second World War, I didn't go there. I just refused to register for army or anything. So FBI caught me and told me that they will help me out if I agree to go to army. And I said no. I decided on this thing because my spirituality, my Hopi, and it's come from my heart, and I'm going to stand on it.
Hell yeah.
And I'm not going to go over to other foreign countries. It's not our war, it's your war. You're the one, white man created that. You should go over there, but not Native people, because our Native people's special mission is to take care of the Western Hemisphere through prayer, ceremony, ritual, and living in this area, take
Dude, isn't that so funny? That's literally the same fucking thing that, like, yeah, the people in Tibet and all the other, you know, like Hindu religion, Muslim religions. It's so funny. But then all these Christians are like, no, it's about having slaves. That's what life's about, is having the most amount of slaves. So weird.
Care of animal, birds, and plant life, and grass and trees. And that's what I'm going to do. And I want to stay with my Hopis. I want to be Hopi because Hopi means peaceful person, kind, gentle, truthful, humble person. And I want to help keep this land alive in that way. FBI and U.S. Marshals got hold of me and threw me in jail. I spent almost 7 years in prison trying to be a good Hopi.
Rat bastards.
The vendors came and bring the cross and invent wagons, they invent cars, they invent airplanes, and that's when they throw what they call goat full of ashes. Because White Brother invented many things, and he took some of the mineral resources, and he referred to this as a goat rattle we use in our ceremony. Goat rattle represents this Mother Earth as a powerful being, but he called it goat full of ashes. White Brother invented so small, so hot, so powerful that if you ever allowed that to fall on the earth, you'll just burn everything to ashes. So if we throw bomb around Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Vietnam, Korea, places like Persian Gulf where the big money people got together, the government, and throw many powerful things over there, kill thousands of people, homeless, destroy many living things, animal, birds, and plant life. So that is what they said was going to happen. But he said, if we go out in the other country and disturb their land and life and do this kind of thing, eventually those people are going to rise up and go and create most powerful bomb and throw it back here. In fact, they might come over here and really punish those who continue to make those things and throw it around the world. But somebody came in without permission from the elders, religious leaders, and took that uranium out and tested it in New Mexico and threw it on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That is why those met in Songopabe, 4 days. And they wanted to let the world know that we are getting into more dangerous spirit now. When they have a ceremony, they offer this prayer to these sacred mountains, 4 mountains, from spiritual ascended to the ageless lot in ever. That's how we keep this land in balance. White people don't understand this kind of thing. They only look for money and job and a good time. They don't care about land. They want to sell and buy and destroy everything. That's what the old people say he's going to do. He's going to switch.
Consume, consume, consume.
Tongue, and he's going to take everything from you, going to even make you believe a lie when he tells you right in front of you. He knows how to give you.
Yeah, they're fucking snake oil salesmen.
One thing, they take something away from you quickly. This kind of thing, they explain that that's exactly what goes on right now. And so they told us when they do that, someplace they're going to start suffer terrible things like earthquake, flooding, tornadoes, upheaval, land, and tidal wave, because we have not correct change, stop wrong things, and so that's why we want the United Nations.
Oh no, we can stop this. We don't need to get tidal waved. Come on, chill, chill, chill. Everyone chill. Hold on. We're trying to turn the ship around. Everyone calm down. We're not going to do tidal wave, okay? I'm not fucking with the tidal wave.
To give them a chance.
My ass will be toast for sure.
Give all the foreign government a chance to do something with their laws or organizations. And it's up to the people now. In the first, second world, people didn't do nothing to the leaders, so it's up to the people in the fourth world, because we are the children of these mothers. We are the ones supposed to correct changes from these leaders, because you are voters, taxpayers, they're your servants. You are the government. You are the power. You're supposed to do something, but if you don't, then nature's going to really take over. There's no way you can save many people. This is where we are right now. We either bring about Third World War, Fourth World War, or destroy ourselves, or disturb nature so much nature is going to act so strongly, there's no way to survive. But if we...
Yeah, dude, nature, Gaia will fucking buck us off if we push her too far. She will say, these fucking pain in the ass bitches need to go. and then tidal wave us.
We find this to be true, then we correct, change the stuff that's wrongdoing, and make this life beautiful, clean again. When you sing and dance, gentle rain will come and be a lot of grass, flowers, animal, birds, be so happy. And maybe they leave a lot of good people who will purify this land, rivers, ocean, lake, and make life beautiful, clean again, and join with the native people who sing, pray, fast, meditate, so that this world come back again.
Fuck yeah, bro. Okay, but wait, I still wanted to see the fucking Hopi. I want to see this messenger story. Whoa, is this the same guy?
And as I began to travel around with the drum and I learned that native people have many prophecies about this time. I began to hear these over and over. And so I kind of more or less memorized a lot of them. And when
Wait, oh, you posted this one? You posted... This looks like it's actually him telling the story, right? Is this one you're talking about? You posted this? Because... Yeah, that's the same guy. It's just about 20 years younger.
what I'd like to do now is share with you
Yeah, I'm gonna watch a couple minutes of this.
some of those. You know, every day now on the TV, I hear what the elders talked about back then. Even just last night, there's a sign that's to come before the third shaking of the earth, which I'm going to get to. I'll explain what all these mean.
Fuck, dude, I don't want the third shaking of the earth, bro. Fuck, that sounds like cataclysm shit, bro.
Last night on the news, they were talking about it. We'll come up to that. They say at the beginning of each cycle of time, the Great Spirit comes down through a messenger. He makes a strong appearance upon the earth, and we are coming to an end of a cycle now.
Oh, no. God damn it, bro. Whatever. I'm at peace with it, right? Dude, I'm telling you, the moment that I feel the great earthquake, I'm going on the roof and I'm meditating until that fucking tsunami hits me. You know? Because you'll probably have like 10 minutes, right? Once you feel that fucking earthquake, you're like, oh shit, here comes the water, right? Then you got to get into a restful state.
It's not the first cycle. There was a cycle of spirit. There was a cycle of the mineral, the rock. There was a cycle of the plant. And now we're in the cycle of the animal, coming to the end of that and beginning the cycle of the human being. When we
Sorry, this one doesn't have the closed captions.
get into the cycle of the human being, the highest and greatest powers that we have will be released to us and be released from
Earth is going to know her friends. We'll be spared in the next life. All right.
that light or soul that we carry to the mind. But right now we're coming to the end of the animal cycle when we have investigated ourselves and learned what it is to be like an animal on this earth.
Oh.
And at the beginning of this
Yeah, I'm sick of everyone being like animals. Can everyone be like people now? That would be great.
cycle of time, long ago the Great Spirit came down and he made an appearance. He gathered the peoples of the earth together. They say on an island that is now beneath the water. And he said to the human
That couldn't be right. That would be crazy if that was true.
beings, he said, I'm going to send you to 4 directions, and over time I'm going to change you to 4 colors. But I'm going to give you some teachings, and you will call these the original teachings. And when you come back together with each other, you will share these so that you can live and have peace on earth, and a great civilization will come about. And he said, during this cycle of time, I'm going to give each of you 2 stone tablets. And he said, when I give you those stone tablets, don't cast them upon the ground. Because if any of the brothers and sisters of the 4 directions and the 4 colors cast their stone tablets on the ground, not only will the human beings have a hard time, but almost the earth itself would die. And so he gave us each a responsibility, and we call that the guardianship. And to the Indian people, the red people, he gave the guardianship of the earth. And we were to learn during this cycle of time the teachings of the earth, and the plants that grow from the earth, and the foods that you can eat, and the herbs that are healing. So that when we came back together with the other brothers and sisters, we could share this knowledge with them, because something good was to happen on the earth. And to the south, he gave the yellow race of people the guardianship of the wind, and they were to learn about the sky and breathing, and how to take that within ourselves for spiritual advancement. and they were to share that with us in this time. And to the west, where there's blackness of night, he gave the black race of people the guardianship of the water, and they were to learn the teachings of the water, which is the chief of the elements. It is the most humble and also the most powerful. When I went to the University of Washington and learned that it was a black man that invented blood plasma, it didn't surprise me because blood is water, and the elders already told me that black people will bring the teachings of water to humanity. And to the north, where there's white snow on this continent, he gave the white race of people the guardianship of the fire. And if you look at the center of many of the things they do, you will find the fire in this light bulb. They say that is a white man's fire. If you look at the center of a car, you will find a spark. If you look at the center of the airplane, the train, you will find the fire. And the fire moves, also consumes. This is why it was the white brothers and sisters that began to move upon the face of the earth and reunite us as a human family, because they had the guardianship of the fire. This was their responsibility. And so a long time passed, and the Great Spirit gave each of the four races 2 stone tablets. Ours are kept at the Hopi Reservation in Arizona, at Four Corners area, on 3rd Mesa. I've talked to people from the black race of people. Their stone tablets are at the foot of Mount Kenya. They are kept by the Kikuyu tribe. I once had the honor of presenting a sacred pipe of the Kikuyu tribe carved from the red pipestone of Mount Kenya. One time I was at an Indian spiritual gathering about 15 years ago, and a medicine man from South Dakota put a beaded medicine wheel in the middle of the gathering, and it had the 4 colors and the 4 directions, and he asked the people, where is this from? And they said, oh, probably Montana, South Dakota, maybe Saskatchewan. He said, this is from Kenya. It was beaded just like ours, same colors. The stone tablets of the yellow race of people are kept by the Tibetans in Tibet. And the guardians of the traditions of the people of Europe are the Swiss. In Switzerland, they still have the mask day when each family brings out its mask. They still know the colors of their families. They still know their symbols, some of them. I went to school with some people at the University of Washington from Switzerland, and they shared this with me. Each of these 4 keepers happen to be people that live in the mountains. If you went straight through the Hopi reservation to the other side of the world, you would come out in Tibet. The Tibetan word for sun is the Hopi word for moon, and the Hopi word for moon is the Tibetan word for sun.
Shut the fuck up.
Because they're on the opposite sides of the world. It was some people from the yellow race of people. In 1976, because the United States was celebrating 200 years of freedom.
Freedom.
They're having this bicentennial. Some of the native people thought this was significant, and they carried a sacred pipe bundle from the west coast to the east coast of this land. And I particularly I was thinking last night as we were having a circle out here about this. They said that the roads of this land would either go north-south or they would go east-west. If they went north-south, we would come together as brothers and sisters. But if they went east-west, there would be destruction, and almost the earth itself would have a hard time. So you all know the roads went east.
Fuck.
West. They said things then would be lost from the east to the west and the north to the south, but they would come back from the west to the east and come back from the north to the south. They would be lost from the south to the north. So 9 years ago, in 1976, from the west to the east coast of this land, from San Francisco to Washington, D.C., people carried a sacred pipe bundle by hand on foot across this land. My aunt had dreamt 15 years earlier, and that dream was in a book, that people would throw rocks and bottles at that pipe bundle as they carried it across the land. People that didn't like them. Sure enough, that came about. People threw, but as my aunt seen it in her dream, that it only come so far, then they dropped, and nothing touched it. When they got up to the top of the Rockies, they hit a hard storm, and there was an elder man who had long white hair. He said, I will carry it now. They had a van, and then they had people walking by the van carrying that bundle, and the old man got out of the van. He carried it clear through that storm. He was so cold when he got back in the van that somebody touched his hair and it fell. His hair was frozen. You have to be really cold for your hair to freeze, but that old man carried it through that storm, because they said if we carried this bundle across the earth, the powers would begin to come back. It was carried from west to east. They said a spiritual fire would be lit in the north, and it would come down the northwest coast of this land, and when it gets to Puget Sound, it will go inland. I think this 9 years later is the gathering in the north myself. That's why I came here. This is it. We have the capacity to start the spiritual fire now here. The old people long ago seen it and foretold it, and I'm going to come to that. So we went through the cycle of time. Each of the 4 races went to their directions, and they learned their teachings. It was in Newsweek magazine not too long ago that 8 out of 10 foods that people eat on the earth were developed here in the Western Hemisphere, because that was our guardianship, to learn the teachings of the earth and the things that grow from the earth. Then we were given a sacred handshake to show when we came back together as brothers and sisters that we remembered the teachings. And it was indicated on the stone tablets that the Hopis had, that the first brothers and sisters that would come back to them would come as turtles across the land. They would be human beings, but they would come as turtles. So when the time came close, the Hopis built a special village to welcome the turtles that would come across the land, and they got up in the morning and looked out at sunrise, and they looked out across the desert and they saw the Spanish conquistadors coming covered in armor like turtles across the land. So this was them. So they went out to the Spanish man and they extended their hand, hoping for the handshake, but into the hand the Spanish man dropped a trinket. And so word spread throughout North America that there was going to be a hard time, that maybe some of the brothers and sisters had forgot the sacredness of all things, and all the human beings were going to suffer for this on the earth. So tribes began to send people to the mountains to have visions, to try to figure out how they could survive.
Yeah, one of the tribes stopped doing their sacred fucking duty, and they decided, let's do sacred duty of fucking whatever we want. How about that? Dude, fuck.
At that time, there was 100,000 cities in the Mississippi Valley alone called the Mound Civilization. Cities built on great mounds. Those mounds are still there. If you ever drive through Ohio or the Mississippi Valley, they're tourist attractions now. There was 100,000 cities of native people. And they were wondering how they could survive. And they began to try to learn to live off the land because they knew a hard time was going to come. They began to send people to have visions to see how we could survive this time. People came on the East Coast, and they went across this land to the east, and we were told in the prophecies that we should try to remind all the people that would come here of the sacredness of all things. And if we could do that, there would be peace on earth. But if we did not do that, when the roads went clear from east to west, and when the other races or colors of the earth had walked clear across this land, if by that time we had not come together as a human family, the Great Spirit would grab the earth with his hand and shake it.
Fuck, dude. Fuck. Oh my god. Dude, we're getting cataclysmed. 100%. 100 billion%. We've never read through the Adam and Eve document like on stream, have we? I think I've brought it up a couple times, but we never actually read through it. Maybe we read through it today.
So if you read the treaty negotiations from Red Jacket of the Six Nations on the east coast of this land, clear to Chief Joseph and Chief Seattle on the west coast of this land, they all said the same thing. Chief Joseph said, I accord you the right, and I hope that you accord me the right to live in this land. We always were trying to live together. But instead of living together, you all know there was separation, there was segregation. They separated the races, they separated the Indians, and they separated the blacks. In the state of Washington, it was against the law for an Asian to marry a white person. Up until not too long ago, there was separation. So when they got to the west coast of this land, the elders that were aware of many of these prophecies, and I should say that I know that every one of you from your tribal backgrounds have your own prophecies, and I'm probably not the most deserving person to be speaking, but...
I know, I was just thinking about the fucking plane just buzzing overhead as he's trying to talk.
And there is going to be a time, I think, on the agenda for other people to share, and I hope that you open up and do share. When they got to the west coast of this land, they said they would then begin to build a black ribbon, and on this black ribbon they would move a bug. And when you begin to see this bug moving on the land, that was a sign for the first shaking of the earth. And this first shaking of the earth would be so violent that this bug would be shaken off the earth into the air, and it would begin to move and fly in the air. And by the end of this shaking, this bug would be in the air around the world, and behind it would be a trail of dirt. And eventually, the whole sky of the entire earth would become dirty from these trails of dirt, and this would cause many diseases that would get more and more complicated.
Plane.
So the bug moving on the land, of course, it's easy to see now. In 1908, the Model T Ford was mass-produced for the first time.
These bugs, oh my god, they're gonna shake the earth so hard that the fucking cars shake off the earth. I feel like we're going with the cars then.
So the elders knew the first shaking of the earth was about to come about. That's the First World War.
Oh.
In the First World War, the airplane came into wide use.
Dude, no, I'm saying literally, I think that the cataclysm is literally like the earth gets shaked like this. Like, literally in one day, the pole of the earth shifts. It's like gotta be, like, literally, Gaia might, like, the earth might actually be a thing that can literally just awaken and be like, I'm flipping 180 today. Fuck these bitches. I don't think the world war... I think it's literal shakes. Get out of here with this metaphor, brother. We're talking about literal shit.
For the first time, that was the bug moving into the sky. And so then they knew that something very important...
No, this is great. This is I love the way this guy talks.
What would happen? There would be an attempt to make peace on earth on the west coast of this land, and so the elders begin to watch for this. And they begin to hear that there was going to be a League of Nations in San Francisco. So the elders gathered in Arizona around 1920 or so, and they wrote a letter to Woodrow Wilson, and they asked if Indian people could be included in the League of Nations.
Let me guess. They were included.
At that time, the United States Supreme Court had held that a reservation is a separate and semi-sovereign nation, not a part of the United States, but protected by it. And this was a concern because people didn't want the reservations to become more and more separate. They didn't want them to be considered nations. So they did not write back, and the Native people were left out of the League of Nations. So that circle was incomplete. In the League of Nations circle, there was the southern door of the yellow people. There was the western door of the black people. There was the northern door of the white people. But the eastern door was not attended. And the elders knew that peace would not come on earth until the circle of humanity is complete. Until all the four colors sit in the circle and share their teachings, then peace will come on earth. So they knew things would happen. Things would speed up a little bit. There would be a cobweb built around the earth, and people would talk across this cobweb. When this talking cobweb, the telephone, was built around the earth, a sign of life would appear in the east, but it would tilt and bring death. It would come with the sun. But the sun itself would rise one day, not in the east, but in the west. So the elder said, when you see the sun rising in the west, and you see the sign of life reversed and tilted in the east, you know that the great death is to come upon the earth. And now the Great Spirit will grab the earth again with his hand and shake it.
Bro, he's talking, the Great Spirit is talking about literal. No, I don't want to get cataclysmed.
And this shaking will be worse than the first.
No.
So the sign of life reversed and tilted, they called that the swastika. And the sun rising in the west was the rising sun of Japan. These two symbols are carved in stone in Arizona.
Yeah, but I doubt that it's symbolic shit. I think they're talking literal shit. One day, dude, we're going to wake up and the sky's gonna be blood red, and then it's going to fucking pole switch.
We've seen these two flags. These were the signs that the earth was to be shaken again. And the worst misuse of the guardianship of fire is called the...
Yeah, stop. Reservations are our tax havens. Please stop. And that's where we get our kids to drink. Just stop asking for equality. Oh my God. Let us do our Swiss thing. I can't believe they let these Swiss motherfuckers have a tablet, bro. We gotta steal that tablet from the Swiss. The fucking Freemasons.
Gourd of ashes. They said a gourd of ashes will fall from the air. It will make the people like blades of grass in a prairie fire, and things will not grow for many seasons. I saw on TV not too long ago they were talking about...
Is there any what's it called, legend of like Nazis covering the sun with a big umbrella or something?
About the atomic bomb, the gourd of ashes. They said it was the best kept secret in the history of the United States. The elders wanted to speak about it in 1920 at the League of Nations. They would have spoken of it and foretold its coming if they could have entered into the League of Nations. The elders tried to contact President Roosevelt and ask him not to use the gourd of ashes because it would have great effects upon the earth and eventually cause an even greater destruction in the third shaking of the earth, the Third World War. But I'll get to that in a few minutes. So they knew that after the second shaking of the earth and they saw the gourd of ashes fall from the sky, they knew then there would be trying to make peace on the other side of this land. And because the peace attempt on the west coast had failed, they would build a special house on the east coast of this Turtle Island, North America. And all the nations and the peoples would come to this house, and it would be called the House of Mica. It would shine like the mica on the desert shines. So the elders began to see they were building the United Nations made out of glass that reflects like the mica on the desert. So they knew this is a house of mica, and all the peoples of the earth should go to it. So they met and talked about this. They said that in 1920s they had written and they had not been responded to, so this time they said we better go to the front door of the House of Mica because things might get a lot worse. So elders representing a number of tribes, I believe, drove to New York City. When the United Nations opened, they went to the front door of the House of Mica. And they said these words, we represent the indigenous people of North America and we wish to address the nations of the earth. And they said we're going to give you 4 days to consider whether or not we will be allowed to speak, and they retreated to one of the Six Nations reserves in New York State. The Six Nations reserves are the keepers of the great law of peace of the prophet that appeared here in North America, Daganawida. And this great law of peace is still recited. It takes 4 days between sunrise and noon each year in Indian by memory. It's recited about this time of year. 4 days later they came back, and I believe the nations of the earth, they heard that the Indians had come to the door, and they voted to let the Indians in. They wanted to hear what they had to say. But the United States is one of 5 nations, and the United Nations with a veto power, and still they were concerned because this time the native sovereignty was even stronger. And I believe they vetoed the entrance of...
This is fucking awesome. Okay, we're gonna do the fucking EBE in a second. I just want to see if there's a short... I just want a quick recap of this story. Hopi origin story. This is probably it, right? Many Native American peoples share a belief that they emerged from the earth. This is the Hopi story.
Sinom asmodi atkave
We live
yesi.
beneath the earth,
Now sinom omi.
and it came time for us to emerge. DNA. DNA. Here we met the caretaker of the earth, and his name was Masaw. Marduk? What was it, Marduk? Is that what it was? Masaw? Hopi and Pueblo tradition requires that they honor Mother Earth by taking care of her. What a concept. Masaw told us this world is a gift to us, and we treated it like shit, and we must care for this place. Corn. The 4 fucking direction things. He said, to find your home, you must find the center place. So we made a covenant to walk to the world's farthest corners, to learn the earth with our feet and to become one with this new world. And then we let the Nazis take everything over, and to find our center place.
In their origin story, after they emerge from the earth, the Pueblo are given a sacred quest. Find the center place.
So some clans went clockwise and some clans went counterclockwise. And as the clans migrated, they placed an insignia where they were at that particular time and place, which is a spiral.
Cool. Masaw, the caretaker. Masaw, the caretaker of Earth, told us to watch for a great sign in the sky. It would be a symbol that we have reached the center place. So when we saw a bright light in the sky, we came to the rest in the southwest. And we knew this is the center place.
Chaco was a place where people came together from vast distances.
Chaco was a culmination of many years of learning and knowledge and perfecting their ceremonies.
People share knowledge and beliefs based on thousands of years of observing their world. Ceremonies to influence the very forces of nature. They are still practiced today.
Blaze it. Yo, you're not gonna fucking...
told by the elders to the young. The story of the coming of the first people to this earth, the meeting with Masaw, the creator. These are his words.
My life is simple. All I have is my planting stick and my corn. If you are willing to live as I do and follow my instructions, the life plan which I shall give you, you may live here with me and take care of the land. Then you shall have a long, happy, fruitful life. Bro, is that
Martin
Thoth?
Joshua Sioma was born in Hotvilla, nephew of Yukiuma, a religious leader who led a small band of Hopis who were evicted from Oribe because they wished to follow the traditional way of life. They founded Hotvilla in 1906. In their new home, the religious exiles have kept the breath and the life of the Hopi prophecy.
Masaw owns this land over here. We met him in Oribe, and then he gave us permission to live here with him and give us this knowledge to take care of this world for him. So this really belongs to the Great Spirit, Masaw. This is the Great Spirit holding the world right here. This is the line that he gives them the path through here. This is a good life all the way to here. If you follow my footsteps, you will live a long life.
Before the
white man came, they already knew that someday somebody will come around, a white man that take over their land and claim it. White men split them here. This is the road of the white man through here, all the way to here. The elders said this is a rocky road here. They don't know where this leads to. They said this only leads to the destruction of this world. Then there are some people are still following the footsteps of the Great Spirit through here.
That's what we're doing. The barefoot lifestyle, right?
Tom Tarbett of Santa Fe, New Mexico, is a longtime student of the Hopi. He is director of the Planting Stick Project and acts as liaison between two very different cultures.
At first, they were united all across the entire array of villages in one web, just because they'd all been following the same cosmic song that put them in their places. So the United States couldn't break that unity at first, but eventually they started breaking down until Oribe itself split.
Roy Stevens, who is from Indonesia, describes himself as a biocosmologist. He is part of the Society of Hopi and Planetary Friends. Their mission is to help the world understand the wisdom of the Hopi.
Yo, yeah.
The Hopi, of course, they were also forewarned about the intrusions by modern civilization, by modern man, and so they, when they came, right away they saw where the danger came from. There was education.
Because they want us to live like our white people. This is what broke everything. The religious, what we believe in, and everything.
1880, they built a boarding school up there in Kings Canyon, 1887.
Around the turn of the century, assimilation of native peoples into the mainstream of American society was the official policy of the United States government.
The two leaders over here in Oribe, they fell for it. They got weak and said it was okay for the kids to go to school, but Yukiuma and some of other religious leaders were against it.
And the prophets, who realized that the new system they were being offered was not in accord with what Masaw had taught them about survival, was in fact leading to doom, were brutally evicted by the faction that naively took the modern world to be a safe bet.
One morning, they just now sat down to eat. And they arrived, those people from Kings, and some from the Palaka, and from the Oribe.
Generally speaking, it's the law that every American child goes to school. And in certain respects, in certain parts of our history, this was a valuable thing to prevent child abuse.
And they took all the people out from their houses. They dragged them.
They said it was to fucking prevent child abuse. That's why we went to school? Okay.
Took all the men They tear their shirt off, pull their shirt off, tear them up.
So they knew all the way at the beginning that education was not such a good thing, because the Hopi, their education was definitely superior. But the fact that they didn't have hospitals at the time, because people were really healthy, they were strong.
Yeah, they didn't need fucking hospitals because everyone was fucking healthy. That's so funny. They're like, oh no, these guys are weird. They don't have a fucking hospital because none of them need a hospital.
Men used to run 40 miles in one day straight to the fields and back. They were champions. They didn't have jails, they didn't have prisons, they didn't need to rely on all kind of administrative buildings and services and so on. They were self-reliant. That's what the power is. It's not,
yeah.
It's not only the power of the whole.
Dude, I love this guy. What did he call himself? A cosmic biologist?
That should be also the power of every individual.
Throw them around, push them around, pulling their hair. Things like that.
Dude, they're so cool. Look at this. This is a fucking culture, man. What the fuck? They took this away from everyone.
The ladies.
It's not letting you comment. I have a banger of a Kamala meme video that my mutual made. Sorry if it's off topic. No, we'll watch it in a couple minutes.
Some of them took out their weapons and other...
Here, let's just watch it now.
Very, very nasty. She was very, very nasty. Very, very nasty, nasty, nasty.
Tie that little bad boy up. It's all put down immediately. Just like lather that baby up, right? On the outside in the cavity.
On the outside and in the cavity.
She was very, very nasty. Very, very nasty, nasty, nasty.
Tie that little bad boy up. It's all put down immediately.
That bad boy up.
Just like lather that baby up, right? On the outside in the cavity.
Lather that bad boy up. Hell yeah. All right. Well, I mean, this is super interesting. Is everyone okay if we keep watching this? And I promise we'll do EBE once we are done with this.
And that's when
this is a good video.
They start to fight back.
And one of the from
we're talking about kids, right?
Tupa. I don't know his English name, but his name is Paya still. He came around with his white horse, and he got mad. He said, "What are you people doing? Why are you fighting for? What are you fighting for?" They didn't do anything, just because they don't want to live like a white people. I want this stop. So he went around and whipped all those people with his, how you call that thing? Whip.
Yeah, he whipped all those people.
So that's how he cleared this off. Okay. All right, come on, you go. You better go. Come on, take a step. That's what they were saying to my grandpa. Okay?
The leaders from Oloribis drew a line that land belongs to Oloribi. And then whoever wants to follow Yukuma and the leaders, they step over the line. When Yukuma stepped over the line, he went like this, meaning this whole world belongs to the Creator, not to the newcomer. Then they started from there.
And moved over to Hotvilla, about 4 miles, more or less northeast. And in effect took the Oribi spiritual union into exile.
The ragged band of exiles reached the other side of Third Mesa, where Hotvilla now stands. They had not been permitted to take their belongings with them.
So he stood there and took some of this cornmeal, and he went around like this, make a circle around, and he went inside of that. And he said, "This is where I'm going to stay. This is where I'm going to stay with my daughter, my only daughter." So that's where they settled. They clear off the little places around there where they could stay for a while. And they built a fire. And they sat around each place just like that.
That's where they gathered all the men together, and then they marched them up to Kim's Canyon. It's about 35 miles from here, where the agency is. Then they put them in prison. They asked them to sign some kind of paper, but they refused to sign it. And they told them if they signed the paper, they would give them food, but they still refused to sign the papers. And then after that, they took them to the blacksmith and they chained them together in pairs. That's where they forced them to build the road over in Kim's Canyon. Then when nighttime comes around...
That's what they do, right? They say, oh, you won't listen to us? Slave labor.
They would change it, hook them up, six people together. If one person wants to use the outhouse, all 6 have to go with them.
Their ankles start getting sores on them, blood on them. Still they're going like that. I shed all my tears for him, all that years, since I was a kid.
Then the woman, it was really hard for them to survive over there during winter days. And they survived by hunting and picking greens.
And so, of course,
dude, I love this edit, bro.
Then they went in. The day that they wanted to take us over there, our fathers, they hold us. We're sitting in front of them, and they hold us. They don't want us to go, but they fight with us. They took their hands away from her like this. Come on, come on. You have to go. They have to go. They dragged us over there. I went. My father was holding. My uncle Dan was right here.
They literally kidnapped the children, took them literally, tore them apart, away from the parents' arms, and put them in camps. We call this boarding schools, but actually they were concentration camps for years.
If I remember right, that was David.
Yeah, that dude is a badass. I love that guy.
Lester. My sister Viola, that's one of my older sisters, and Helen, Zelma, Lloyd.
And that forced them to adopt, to get tuned into a different mode, of life through education. They were forced, to eat the white man's way, to dress the white man's way, to think the white man's way. They were severely beaten and punished, when they just mentioned one Hopi word.
They used to have long dresses, long sleeves, like this kind of sweater they used to have, and a glove. And they have a little red cap on, like a little Red Riding Hood, you might just as well say. And they took already my grandpa down there before they did that to us.
To prison?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them came back, and then on top of it, they took them back again and took them to Alcatraz.
Now if you wanted to see the Hopi culture, now you'd have to imagine a pot that would sit on the highway and run over by a truck.
These 2 lines right here, these are 2 hardy people that are the...
What?
Yeah, some of them came back, and then on top of it, they took them back again and took them to Alcatraz.
Now if you wanted to see the Hopi culture, now you'd have to imagine a pot that would sit on the highway and run over by a truck.
These 2 lines right here, these are 2...
I mean, just saying, that they've been, decimated. It's kind of a shitty way to say it. I don't know.
2 hardy people that are destroying the land. They're gonna, they're gonna destroy this world. So this one line here, there's a man right here, that someday this man will wake up. This is the one line, means that he's a one-hearted.
Now, the Hopi are one of the last living examples who have a culture that installs wisdom in power, that gives the leadership capability or commission from the people to the person with the greatest wisdom to carry it out.
But if this guy wakes up in time, then he would try to bring them back to this Creator's way.
Bro! There is some that are trying to go back to barefoot lifestyle. I promise. Come on, please, please, please. Please don't cataclysm me. If you're doing selective cataclysm, please do it to the Nazis. Please, come on, do like a leftover style thing, okay? Look at their heart. See if their heart is cloned or not. If it's not cloned, that's probably a good chance it's okay, okay? It's probably a good heart. Clone heart, though? Nope.
So that the world will be safe. But if we don't do anything, then the world will be destroyed.
The Hopi nation
destroyed.
Has never been conquered by an army. They have never signed a treaty with any government. Therefore, they consider themselves sovereign.
The people who were educated children, see, they created a great gap, and they got accustomed to the comforts and so-called progression. From there, they created today the so-called Hopi Tribal Council, see, which was not only illegally installed, but they also provided the material, the people, for the creation of an agency that served the interest of government and big business. So that is the great dilemma right now in Hopi land.
In 1936, an election was held. Traditional Hopis refused to participate in the white people's electoral process. As a result, the tribal council was established by the votes of a minority of voting Hopis. Today, only 5 of the 12 Hopi villages have chosen to be represented on the tribal council.
This puppet government is a replacement for whatever traditional government would have existed. And it's the rubber stamp, it's the signature on the contracts by which the minerals are taken away.
Because the council or any Indian bureau didn't ask any permission from the Hopis that are leaders.
It is ruled by the Secretary of Interior. That's in their constitution. It's in the Tribal Council Constitution that he has final yay or nay over anything that the Tribal Council government does.
I think it's going to come out since we have a few documents how the government created this council over here. We wanted to abolish the council. Then if we clean this mess over here, get rid of the council, all the other native people will be free too.
In 1882, a reservation was set aside for the Hopi. It included lands that were occupied by members of the Navajo tribe. Centered on coal-rich Black Mesa, this area later became known as the Joint Use Area. Congress divided the Joint Use Area between the two tribes in 1974.
I wonder how much the Hopi reservation overlapped with the Utah reservation, the Utah Zion land.
Thousands of Navajos caught on the wrong side of the fence were forced by law to move. Some are ignoring the order and refuse to relocate, either from the partitioned land or from the Peabody Coal Company lease area. The coal, strip mined from Black Mesa, is used to fire power plants, which in turn provide electricity for southwestern cities.
Which all don't need to exist because, why? Because we can pick up free electricity from the sky, like Tesla said.
They opened that mine to employ some people up there for jobs for the local people.
We knew that someday that these ignorant, greedy people will start mining this before they go on.
And right now, if you go up to the mining area, they say that what kind of experience do you have? And you gotta have some kind of experience, like heavy equipment or some kind of experience on mining, and to get a job up there.
The government never asked us and then put up this Hopi Tribal Council. So what they're doing is everything is illegal, moving the Navajo people out and strip mining over here.
People disagree with the mining ever since then because of there's a lot of wrongdoing that the company has been doing to their culture and their religion belief, and also through the contaminating the land, water, the air.
Yeah, dude, Dr. Parkenstein rules.
The people were talking about it, because the whole Black Mesa is a sacred ground. There's a lot of areas up on Black Mesas of the herbal medicine that they use to cure sickness and use for the ceremonies, and also like tobaccos for the ceremony. So that's the way the people look at it, is they want the whole Peabody out of Black Mesa.
So so-called prophecy is actually not something mysterious. It's just like common sense. We know what can happen. Like we know that after winter, spring will come.
If we don't follow those instructions, if we get off of that instructions, the world might turn over if we're not purified.
Bro, and I literally think that they mean turned over, like.
It already started. The nature's already telling us the earthquakes, and this winter the flowers has bloomed. That means that we're real close to the purification, so we already started. We're already starting the purification.
But yet, in the glory of all this technology and might that we have acquired, we remain blind.
Yeah. Certain things happen in the past that tell us something's happening to the land and life and the people. And the plant life also tell us. Flowers, different types will tell us also that something is happening and something is coming soon. We came to live in peaceful way upon this continent, or this land and life the Great Spirit gave us. We were not to fight each other. We're not to create and destroy things senselessly. We all have certain religious instructions, but it seems some different religious groups, societies, seem to have forgotten those basic instructions, teachings, and warnings, and are doing something just the opposite, running after more things that are not in line with the law of Great Spirit of law of nature and creating this problem.
Bro, yes.
We are all given instructions to take care of this land and life according to the law of the Great Spirit of law of nature. And that is what I'm doing. And I hope that you leaders, or you who are belonging to some of the society that may be able to help correct these things, better hurry up and look into this and correct them as soon as possible.
Yeah, dude, otherwise we're about to get cataclysmed.
We are real in deep trouble right now. And it's time that modern society, governments, people, everyone, right, make a serious beginning in respecting not only nature, but the people who have protected nature, like indigenous people, and redeem, atone. And we cannot say, well, it's not my concern because somebody did the stealing and the murdering for me so many generations ago. The fact that we are enjoying wealth, this technology and the resources, that doesn't take away that we don't have any more responsibility. I see the return, successful return to the natural order, that means voluntarily, not by force, because nature will force us into that if we don't do it ourselves.
Bro, cataclysm, yeah.
Is to empower the Aboriginal people, not just only the Native American, but all over the world. Australia, Africa, whatever is left of that wisdom, of that knowledge, that education.
So if we fix this right, then maybe a few people will be safe around this world, not just here in Hopi, but all around the world, that will survive this purification. And we would all meet here in this continent, which we call heaven. Then all the people will come up to Hopi Nation to start a new life and live a long, happy, lasting life. After that, there will be no wars, anything like that. We will live in peace and start a new life again. This is what Martin has told me. So we need to start working for the Creator.
But how come we didn't come out of the last one being pure and not fighting? Like, what the fuck?
To survive this world.
I am the first and I will be the last. Bro, that's a badass fucking... They say, you guys think that you're the bosses? This is what my dad used to say. I brought you into this world, I can take you out of it. That's literally Masaw saying the same fucking thing, except harder. I am the first, and I will be the last. That's so badass, dude. Holy fuck. If Kendrick drops that on us one day, that's the end, bro.
은항만 다가보 그 산자 보시야 낙와트 해지 딘낙 바핫 밤역 양갓 같이 나가 역역 하비 밤바핫 역 위와 그니 아we 낙보 바핫 보아티오 내가 바핫 하비 예 이담에 파스파니어 그네나 예 하비 이담 보아티오
Like, you know what I mean, dude? I think that yes, it's metaphor, but I also think that it's beyond that. It's more than just metaphor. It's literal. And we're gonna fucking rip up some EBE. You guys want to contact EBE? That little chode that needs to get a slap right on his ass? The next cataclysm. Yeah, dude, the CIA did a study on this, and they said, yeah, seems like these happen every 6,000 years. And we're about up. We're time is ticking, you know? Like Noah's 6,500 years ago, like Adam and Eve's 11,500 years ago, this too will come to pass. Actually, to me, it looks like we're almost a little overdue for one. Am I right? Listen to this.
Across the continent, the 1,000-mile-per-hour wind wreaks its unholy vengeance. Everywhere, mercilessly, unceasingly, every living thing is ripped into shreds while being blown across the countryside. And the earthquake leaves no place untouched. In many places, the Earth's molten sublayer breaks through and spreads a sea of white-hot liquid fire to add to the Holocaust. Across the continent, the 1,000-mile-per-hour wind wreaks its...
Dude, you know what? You know what actually I think is... I think it's true. I think that Gaia is going to open her arms to us, right? And the whole thing is that there's going to be this red purifying light, right? Or golden. Now, if you see golden light, that means that you lived the you know, the right way, right? And so do you get to then join the Hopi? Is that what's going to happen? And then after 3 days, then they cataclysm this bitch? Bro, I'm down for that. If we get to opt out of cataclysm by doing barefoot lifestyle, yoga, meditation, being mindful, that makes sense to me. Ooh, listen to this. Within 3 hours, the fantastic wall of water moves across the continent, burying the wind-ravaged land under 2 miles of seething water coast to coast. In a fraction of a day, all vestiges of civilization are gone, and the great cities, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Chicago, Dallas, New York, are nothing but legends. But legends to who? No one's here. Who's fucking talking about it? The Hopi, that's it. They're gonna say, yeah, these fucking white devils, they got what was coming to them, boy. They said, we knocked their big-ass cities down with water. Few lucky ones who managed to find shelter from the screaming wind on the lee side of Pikes Peak watch the sea of molten fire break through the quaking valleys below the raging water. So it's only people that are in the mountains that are going to survive this? That's bullshit, dude. Yeah, it's just everywhere. And then they were like, oh, do you not think that the next chapter is every single story, every single Bible thing you've ever heard, every religious book has a flood story. And so we think that they're all real. This is the FBI or the CIA saying this, remember, not me. And they said, yeah, it happens every 6,500 years, 6,000 years. And they're like, here's all the evidence for this. The age of the gorges below Niagara Falls and St. Anthony Falls, both about 6,500. The sudden end of the Laurentian Basin ice cap in Canada about 11,500 years ago. The uninterrupted years of evolution on the Galapagos over 11,000 years. The geological datings in the Murrumbidgee River Basin system in Australia showing the end of an ice cap there about 11,500 years ago. The age of fossil bones taken from the Wilshire Boulevard tar pits over 11,000 years. Sudden rise of the St. Louis riverbed 6,500 years ago. They have tons of evidence of this shit, right? But yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I hope that we get an opt-out opportunity, you know. But do you guys want to contact TBE? Okay, the last time we did mountains, I kind of liked that. Should we do the mountain stuff again, or are you guys feeling any other vibes? Dude, the episode that we did Giza, and we just flew around Giza was tight. I don't know, the mountains were pretty dope. What's another cool, should I do like national parks? Arizona. Bro, Arizona is otherworldly. Have you ever guys been to the Badlands? Or like, I'm not saying that was in Arizona, sorry. But like, America's fucking... The land in America is amazing, bro. Ooh, there's too many to pick from. What do I do? Utah. Scenic relaxation in Utah. Alright, let's do this national parks one. Fuck it. You're at 7,000 feet. I got 9,000 feet elevation mountain in my backyard, but I don't know if that's even enough. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if anything is enough. Wait, I kind of like that flighty more of that flying shit though. I just realized we say hopium when you're being too hopeful. Hopium. Oh yeah, you're in Florida, so you're a goner. Yeah, you're almost a goner now. Not funny. But you know, you gotta laugh in the face of all of us gonna die, right? Himalayas? We might be back at where we were. Oh yeah, this is the okay, let's just watch the rest of our video. I liked this one. They kept copyrights doing, or you know, trying to take down my gosh dang frickin' all the cool binaural beats that we were listening to. I liked that music though. You know what? None of them took my videos down. They were all just like they take the revenue, but all of my videos get the revenue taken away anyway, so let's just do it. I like those sounds. Fuck 'em. Take everything from me. Maybe we'll get lucky if we scroll down past songs that we have not listen to. Or the Om Shanti Shanti was pretty good, but I think it maybe is a little distracting, right? And let's just get a soft river sound. No, that's too. It doesn't matter that we're flying around and we hear water, guys, okay? It's all about the vibe, right? Is the vibe feeling okay for everyone? Is it too loud? Can you hear me? I want to dial it in now. Can everyone hear the water? Can everyone hear the music? Can everyone see the beautiful, picturesque scenes? Find Maze Runner vids for real, Cat Dad? Wait, Maze Runner? You mean like the fucking Subway Surfer videos? Wait, you want to watch Subway Surfer videos instead of beautiful, picturesque flying scenes? Oops. Dude, I do want to learn Tai Chi. Wait, Maze Runner? What is it called? I can't find it. Yeah, no, I want to do Tai Chi in the park with the old fucking ladies that are always out there. They're always out at like 7 a.m. fucking sending power. I want to do that. I bet I would feel comfortable going and being like, can I do this? You know, I would do that now, especially after yoga and stuff. What are those things called? Dude, I don't know. They don't have any. What is that thing actually called? It's not called Maze Runner because it's. No, we're not doing that. We gotta fly around, right? That's way cooler. Alrighty. Get ready to blast off, guys. Hey, you're here now, and look, we're just about to frickin' start meditating. You ready? Let me, just take one little puff of meditation lotion, and then we're gonna blast off. Just take a few relaxing, deep breaths. Do your 4-7-8 breathing for a second while I do my own type of breathing here, if you know what I mean. This one is probably, it's not 3 hours, not at all. It's not 3 hours long. Half hour, probably. We could probably extend it into 3 hours though. Watch us. But no, this one planned is not meant to be that long. And it's all, last time we did like 5 different things. We're basically doing one long thing, so we don't have to ground and then leave each time, right? So we're doing 5 little things that are all in service of contacting EBE, and we're grounding once, and we're closing the portal once, right? So I think that's what I'll do in the future. We can do like a longer, more in-depth one, and then just like only ground once, right? So does it matter that I took a breath of happy? Oh, that's what I'm about to do. No, you can do whatever you want. I think that it helps me. So I like to puff pass before my meditations. Not always, just sometimes, you know, whenever I want. And it's Friday, baby. We're gonna have a freaking blast in a second here. You know, blast. We're gonna have a blast off, if you know what I mean. Or actually, shit. Should we watch like cosmic things? Because we are trying to reach EBE. All right, this is pretty freaky fresh, right? Yeah, let's switch it up a little bit. We don't have to do the same as last time. No, we want to be different, right? If anyone has any cooler space videos, let me know. But for now, we're going here. 369 Nitwitch. Alright everyone, take your magical toke. Now's the time if you want to. But I don't condone any of that behavior. But me, Paul Weisopel, I'm cool as hell. I think you kids should smoke marijuana. That's what me and the FBI think, because if we get you guys on that gateway drug and we teach you how to do heroin and stuff, you're more easily controllable. We'll be able to, you know, traffic you, you know, take advantage of you, exploit you. All sorts of stuff. Bro, this is it, right? Let's go. This is the vibe. Ooh, brother. Oh, I forgot, guys. I've been taking one bone and one cap of mushrooms. Just doing a light little doser. I've been doing that the last couple days. It's been awesome. I went to yoga last night with just a little, you know, just a little micro. And I forgot that I took it. And then, dude, in the middle of class, the class that I went to last night, she, Danielle, she fucking one of my favorite teachers because she gets the lights real dark. And it's like literally only women take her class. So I feel especially free, bro, and she brings this like dancerly vibe that I was letting loose last night. I was like doing this big old rounded like dancey type of movement, and I was like, dude, I would never normally do this. I'm glad that yoga. And then I was like, oh yeah, I took a mushroom. Hold on one second. Just a second. Lollipop made eye contact with me. I gotta feed him. Hold on. Guys, just take this like 2 minutes to really get into your freaking breath, okay? Remember, the breath is the fucking ticket, okay? Get fucking serious in your 4-7-8 or your 3-6-9. 3-6-9 is perfect too. Do 3-6-9 breathing if that comforts you more. All right, get into your fucking breath. When I sit in this chair, we're blasting off, okay?